Hey friends, you're watching BrainStormAcres. We're Henry and Irene. We're a married couple living in the high desert of northern Arizona. We've been developing our off-grid homestead pretty much by ourselves for the past 18 years. Today we're canning some turkey stock, made from our Thanksgiving turkey.
I know that's not going to be enough, but that'll be a good start in terms of that. Excuse me, Jack, I need to negotiate around your tush. I need to get some rings. That's the most rings I could need. And are these regular size, or are they regular mouse? Okay. Excuse me, Jack. Jack says I am in the way, always. It is what I do. I do it well. That is the largest quantity that I possibly need because it won't hold more than that. Bong! Bong bong! Bong bong bong! What do you think, Jack? Mr. Bong bong bong? Oh, you got one for me too?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I'll put this one back then. It's interesting the differences in sizes between these things. Like pear is taller than ball. And ball is fatter, you know. In general, I have been disappointed in pear recently. Those are warm enough, so they'll go off because we don't need to boil them. Technically, we don't need to even preheat them anymore, but I'm old-fashioned. I like to do that. But we don't need to boil them anymore. Let's see. We need a 1-inch headspace. What did I say? It wasn't very long that we had to cook them for.
25 minutes.
Yeah, 25 for quarts. And of course we do it at higher than the pressure they talk about because we're higher up in the air. Whee! Okay. So that's ready. This is warming, but it's not ready. Bubble, bubble, toil and trouble. Oh, this needs to get cranked up a little bit. It's just starting to steam. Should I crank it up a little, or did you just crank it?
I just turned it up to low.
Okay, cool.
I don't want it to go higher than that because I want to make sure that it's all liquid so we don't accidentally scorch some gelatin.
Yeah. Okay, so the lids are ready. The jars are not quite ready yet. It's not quite warm enough yet. And this is warming up but not ready. So. And
this is not ready yet.
Definitely not. No, it's just sort of starting to steam a teeny bit around the edges. You have pumpkin or something on your shirt.
That's why I wear this, because you know what happens to my shirts otherwise.
Yes, they wind up with pumpkin or something on them.
I guess that side has its advantages.
I can hear you.
Hey friends, you're watching BrainStormAcres. I'm Henry.
And I'm Irene.
And we're going to be finishing up some preserving. We're going to be canning some turkey stock.
Right. We've been making stock from turkeys and chickens and other stuff for years. And this time Henry used the carcass from the turkey. Left a little bit more dark meat on it than we do sometimes, but I'll tell you what, I tasted the stock yesterday. Oh, it is so good, so good.
Normally I'll pick meat off the legs for other purposes, but this year I looked at it and decided there's just enough tendons in it that I didn't want to mess with it. Besides, we started with a 23-pound turkey and losing 2 legs, since I'm the only one who would eat them, was no big deal. So
Well,
the back, the breastbone, the leg bones, every piece of bone that was available, all the skin.
Yeah, we saved the
plus
wings, all that kind of stuff, yeah.
the pieces that we didn't eat.
Right.
So all those pieces went into the stock pot, and the stock pot's been cooking away now for about 7 hours in total.
And there's lots and lots of gelatin in there, which is really good for everybody. And he skimmed off the fat last night, and that's not all of it. There's a tiny thin layer on the top, but it doesn't make sense. You don't want to get rid of the gelatin in the process of trying to get rid of the fat. Keep them in the pantry, which is as cool as we can keep anything around here because we're not refrigerated.
And it's as dark as we can get it in a jar.
Yeah. Well, I have Roman shades that are insulated over the windows to keep it kind of dark in there. And you just flip the light on if you need more light. So.
Yeah, we'll bring you back when we're ready to start actually canning this stock up.
Sounds reasonable. And Chuck is laying right there. Silly dude.
Okay.
It's harder to maneuver these than the than the pints. Yeah, and the things that we did find there were too large. In other words, they were 1/8 inch or larger in terms of. Come on, you sort of thing. So much more challenging to juggle the jars. They're quartz. There we go. Now, what I really wanted to get and haven't been able to find is one that has a.
Is that the 1 inch mark there or down there?
Up here.
Yeah.
Perfect. How are we doing in terms of emptying that container over there?
Probably another 2 quarts, I would guess.
Okay. Usually I can just grab these with my hands, but the quarts are considerably hotter than the pints.
Yeah, we're able to use the small mouth because we don't have to worry about sliding any food out.
Yeah, exactly, cramming something in there.
And we're not freezing it, so we don't need to worry about it breaking from expansion.
Right.
You know, Alan, the propane guy, says he has 2 deliveries in front of us.
Oh, okay.
So he said half hour. I think it's going to be more than that.
Oh, I think it'll be closer to an hour, but that's fine. Even a half hour should be enough because this doesn't take long. It's the setup and the waiting. How's our quantity going over there now?
This is probably going to be the last one that we'll fill.
I won't put any more in there. I'm trying to keep ahead of you enough so that any jars that are sitting in there will have time to heat up before we...
I think we might have as much as a pint left in here.
Okay. I always double check them because sometimes you'll find some sort of random smudge on them that it didn't quite clean out. Or a chip or a crack or some fun thing. Yeah, I've just about a pint. Yeah, we'll just store that in the fridge and make some quick soup with it.
Yeah, it's lunchtime, so might do it for lunch.
Yeah, I think I see some turkey soup in our future. Okay, first I'll take the remaining 2 lids out of here. Another advantage to having this stuff set aside.
Would you let me have one so I can put it on this jar?
I was going to use a different thing. Don't. Those are brand new. You'll be ruining one of my lids.
I would never ruin a lid.
Yes, you would. Every day of the week, if I let you. What you need is a small jar.
Oh, okay, yep. I don't think these crack if they get cold, do they?
What, those?
Yeah.
Oh, no,
Yeah.
they're fine in the fridge.
I meant when it starts drawing a vacuum.
Oh, you mean like in the fridge?
Yep.
No. Doesn't hurt them at all.
The dangerous part, pouring hot water.
Pouring hot water, yeah. Now it's not quite up to the maximum. Doesn't need to be. This is a short cook, relatively speaking.
This is the canner that we used for many years.
Right.
And I think about 5 or 6 years ago, we got one of the
Fancy
bigger
schmancy
ones.
one. Yep. We decided we would spring for the big American
Standard.
Standard one. I don't think it's American Standard. I think it's something else, but it's all American.
All American, you're right.
The hardest thing about this is this thing doesn't want to stay up, so I usually wind up fussing with it. But I can turn this up now. The water in there is already hot. The stock is hot. The jars are hot, so I don't have to worry about. I mean, I wouldn't crank it to the ends of the earth, but there's not the chance of thermal shock at this point is like non-existent.
Yeah, when you're heating up an aluminum pan, you want to make sure that you heat it relatively slowly because you can warp the bottom of the pan.
Yep.
Which is then a problem if you're using a pressure canner.
Right. And it's not a big deal. You just shouldn't be like. They warn you about, like, people will store these, I guess, in their barns or their outbuildings. And the All-American canner warns you, don't store it in freezing conditions and then bring it inside and expect to throw it onto a hot stove.
Let's say goodbye.
So we will have, what did I say, 5 or 6?
5 quarts of
Yep.
turkey stock. It's good, strong turkey stock with a
Yeah.
lot of flavor in it. There's a huge amount of gelatin in the stock.
It's going to be really tasty. Be great for turkey soup. For several, we often use turkey stock in place of Chinese in place of chicken stock in
right.
some of the Chinese recipes we use because you really can't taste the chicken very much anyway by the time you add all the different spices and herbs and sauces and everything else. So it doesn't really make any difference whether it's turkey or chicken. It has a slightly different flavor, but when you have some pretty overbearing flavor, shall we say, on some of the spices and stuff, you know, so we use it in place of chicken stock a lot of times.
So we have 5 good meals worth of stock there.
Yep.
That'll be nice. We have, I think, a couple from our last turkey that we did, and we used it all up.
No, we still have some. We usually cook about 2 turkeys a year, and 5 or 6.
At least sometimes we do more.
Yeah, because
Turkey is a great, cost-effective protein.
Right.
I think that this turkey that we just finished cooking was about $1 or $1.10 a pound for the finished meat, which is a whole lot cheaper than you can get anything in the grocery store.
Right, and we had bought this earlier, so it was actually on sale.
And it was even cheaper than what I can buy in the supermarket now.
Right, and was it last year that we were really watching because there weren't any turkeys coming in, and we were concerned for a while there, and I found them up at Sam's, I think, when we went up there. So, yes. Anyway, hope this inspires you to come up with things to use your turkey and your turkey stock for. I was chatting.
Save those bones.
Yeah.
They make a great addition to your stock.
Yep. For turkey, we don't usually roast the bones ahead of time. We usually just toss them in and let them boil for 5 or 6 hours. But for some other things, you can roast the bones if you're looking for a darker flavor. And it's a great way to stretch that meat product farther. So.
Well, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring the bell for notifications because, as you can see, we're continuing to do a lot of stuff here on our homestead.
Right. Lots to do. So until next time, bye.
Bye. And keep on brainstorming.
Because obviously we do.